Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome, welcome. This is a weekend updates video. So I tell you what's going on in my craft room, what projects I've been working on. Sometimes it's organizational stuff. You just never know. It's random things. I don't know. Is it a vlog? It's early. You don't want to see this. Trust me. So get your coffee or your tea and hang out, but I don't think there's any wisdom or tutorials here. I wanted to show you that my friend Tony brought me another one of these books, and I can't remember if I showed you before. Somewhere she bought a black journal. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There's one. And then I said, you know, you don't have to buy a brand new book. You can take any book and go for it. So they had one of these. Have you guys read these novels? I've read some. Had one of these and took it and drilled a hole in it. And what I was thinking was, this would be super fun for an art journal, right? If you're amazing on a saw and you want to cut a book into a shape, then you can. This one was a fresher blade, so the center came out better. I'm not worried about it. I think it's great either way, but sometimes non-crafters, when they try and help us, they're like, well, it didn't come out perfectly clean. It was a little messy. Well, it's a junk journal. It's going to be. One thing about this is I'll have to tear out some pages, right? I'll go through and either cut or tear, but I don't know. I was thinking I might work on that today. I know that some people say, oops, I think I just got some of that in my coffee. We're just going with it. I know that some people say that they lose their mojo or they run out of, you know, they need ideas. I don't think I ever need ideas. I think sometimes I get tired, right, because I'm going, but I definitely don't run out of ideas. I wanted to work on these. I still have a bunch of goodies from Making Memories with Melody, and I want to make a tassel. I still haven't done that. I mean, look at all these cool things in here. So I've got to make a tassel for my July daily. And this is sort of what I've been doing after work. It's kind of a neat way to keep crafting. And working from home is weird because I work in my craft room. It's like my worlds have collided. But what I've been doing is maybe working on one page or one thing before dinner or after dinner, but before I sit down and watch TV with Mr. Crafting and Relaxing. There's not that much on TV anyway, is there? So this, like one evening I sewed the cover, and one evening I did this page. So I don't know, I don't have a deadline or a timeline or a project end for this, but I just see one night I did this with a layered up tuck spot and this one. But it's been really fun to just have this project ongoing, and making a journal like this is really easy to step away and come back from there because I don't plan them. I mean, maybe some people do and they say, oh, well, you're supposed to have X number of tuck spots. I don't have that. So it's almost like art journaling where you can just pick a page and work on it. Look at this one. This is a little tiny envelope that Susan Tootsie Tucker sent me Happy Mail in, and then I built it into the page, and I'm going to put a tag in it. So, I don't know. I think stopping and starting a bigger project might be a little trickier. I think die cutting, coloring, anything like that where you can just do a little something every day so that your day during the week wasn't just about work, right? So that is, I don't know what this journal is called. I had this, we talked about it before, I forgot. But I had this stuff from this collection that I really wanted to use. And this is Paige Evans paper that I've had forever. So I'm using up two things at once. Yeah, pretty tricky, huh? This stuff was actually from a 12 by 12 layout that I gave up. At first I thought I was going to make cards. I actually got as far as cutting one card front, and then I went, no. So that's where I am on that. And I have some fun pre-made things to add in, but I don't know if the colors are going to work. And I haven't even gotten as far as opening the package here, so maybe we should at least do that. There's going to be a lot of weird paper dust in my coffee today. Yeah, I could use some of these. Ooh, I like this one. Maybe I should put the pink and blue in mine. And it's really fun. You don't have to buy this stuff, but every once in a while it's fun to purchase something like this to see it. This is a piece of paper with a piece of vellum stitched to it, and they've punched shapes out. Okay, I have punches, I have vellum, I have a sewing machine, I certainly have paper. Now, to get it just like this, you would have to use like a scan. Can you guys see there's hearts in perfect rows? You'd have to use a scan and cut or something like that. But, I mean, I could put one big heart. That looks like dirty. Is that me? It might be my hands. Anyway, so I have those, and then I have the Bow Bunny ones and some random things. So I'll keep working on that. I probably won't work on this journal today just because, like I said, it's a really nice project for after work. But we'll see. Let's see. Updates and random things. Oh, I'm working on an art journal page. I was working on this yesterday. It's going to have some fish. It's still sort of a work in progress mess. It's more purple than I would like. And then I was like, do I have any fish? And I didn't have any fish. And I knew Noni would have like fish stamps, probably fish dyes, all sorts of things. But I just didn't want to mess with that. So then I remembered that I had the graphic 45 paper that actually I did not buy it for the fish, but I found it in there. And I covered up the packaging. So graphic 45 has these die cut assortment packages, and I think all of us would just call them ephemera packs. Almost every brand has them. If you haven't purchased the graphic 45 die cut assortments before, I would highly recommend it. I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know that I've had any of these before. They are double-sided. They are thick. I mean, they're nice. I was really, really pleasantly surprised. I made an entire mess of this packet like I do. I dumped it all out and looked through it for fish. But I just thought, wow, these are really, really nice die cuts. So if you've been passing that up, I know, I mean, I did pay $6.99, but I was supporting a small store and they're made in the US. So how about that? Anyway, just wanted to mention, some brands, when I buy their ephemera pack, I'm a little disappointed and I think, like Bow Bunnies, theirs are super thin and flimsy, and I very often have to layer them up. I like them, I still buy them, but I go in knowing that they'll take a little bit of work, whereas these were sturdy. So I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, what else? Oh, I gotta tell you guys something crazy. I'm thinking about Copics. I don't color. I don't like to spend a ton of money on things, but I'm really, really pondering them. And this is what I'm thinking about alcohol markers. And I would love to hear ideas from those of you who, you have to be a little lazy and messy like me. Like, I don't want to hear from the super organized people who will color for 4 hours straight. But I don't think I want a giant set of alcohol markers. I don't want to give up any space on the counter, and if I put them away, I'll never use them. But I think what I might want is to sit down and say, okay, I have those superhero stamps. I have a few stamp sets. Remember, I got these being a guest designer for Stamping for Less. But I have a few stamp sets that I would like to color. And so maybe if I sit down and I say, I have these, I want to color dogs, I want to color some Christmas things, so I need some red and green. I always need blue, I mean, if we're live. I have orange and green alcohol markers already because I bought the, I think they're tonic, and they come in the pack with the 3 orange and the 3 green. but at the time the store didn't have blue. So I would color flowers and pets. So I think I want to color some little kids maybe, or superheroes, whatever you want to call them. Flowers, leaves and stuff, and pets. I think that's it. I don't want to color entire scenes. I don't want to color a lot of stuff. Like, I probably don't want to color this, but based on what I said, I would have a brown and a green. I don't want to do a bunch of fancy blending. I probably don't want to color that in a lot. So I was just thinking about it that way. Still, when you start doing the math for Copics, it is crazy. But the other ones, they don't have, I like the brush nib. I like the fact that you can go and buy any color you want. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about that. But one thing that I watched, somebody was combining colored pencils and markers. And I could do that. And the other thing they pointed out was you don't have to have, your alcohol markers don't all have to be the right brand, right? You can have some in the cheaper color. So I could buy like yellow in a cheap brand if they didn't always come in sets. See, that's the problem. And when I looked at the sets, a lot of them were colors I didn't want. I tried a set before. It's a brand you guys all know. I can't think of what it was, but I didn't like them. I gave them to my sister who probably hasn't used them. Maybe I could just borrow my sister's Copics. I don't think that's happening, people. Okay, what else do I have going on? Oh, I thought that art journal page was too purple. I used the night spray and it just came out really purple. So I'm going to mix this with water, or I guess it's kind of a shame to take her paint and mix it with water, or maybe some other really dark blue and go back in a little, change it up. You'll probably see the finished page at some point. When you do art journal pages and you have layers and layers, there's a lot of dry time. Okay, let's see what else. Well, today, you know, you have big dreams. You have big dreams for the day. I owe some thank yous. I definitely owe a thank you to Stampin' Cat, who sent me all that amazing blue happy mail. And I have a box of blue out on the table that I think I want to play with. It's the end of the month, so because I had Girls Beach Weekend, I have a lot of like free crafting time, I guess. As a YouTuber, you sort of end up where you have to do your collabs and you have a checklist item. I think I can do whatever I want today. So that's what I've been doing the last couple evenings and also some last weekend. Just, I'd like to say I'm finishing up loose ends. I started out thinking, so naive, that I was going to really clean my craft room and that I was going to work on my UFOs, my unfinished objects. Well, what happened was I started new objects, but in my defense, I used partial paper pads, so that's pretty cool. And the cleaning doesn't, it just, I'm not even going to show you. I mean, this isn't my worst. There's no like craftalanches coming down or anything, and probably the biggest mess is all the stuff I pulled out to show you guys. But if you have any trouble with inspiration, what I do for my goals is I set a 30-minute timer to tidy. So set a 15, it might take longer, set a 20 or a 30-minute timer to tidy in your craft room. Now, there's always a mess for me, so I just set the timer and go. Now, maybe if you're a cricket in the clutterbug world and everything's put away, then maybe say, okay, I'm going to tidy my sequins, or I'm going to tidy my specific paper that I like or something. I will bet you money at some point you will forget that you were on a tidying timer, because yesterday I set a timer. Next thing you knew, I was working on that art journal page and I think I was gluing some stuff in here. So sometimes I have to like extend my timer, or I just don't count it I know I've had at least 2 this month where I tried to tidy and it just didn't take. You know, if you forgot, and it's usually around the 15-minute. Like, I stop and I ask Alexa, how much time is left? And somewhere after the 10-minute mark, I completely forget I was supposed to be tidying. It gets you in there and gets you touching your stuff. And then you're like, oh, I have these brand new dies I haven't taken out of the package. I wanted to play with those. Let me try that out. I got some orders yesterday in the mail. My neighbor Noni left me alone and I was in charge of checking our mail, and I actually shipped mine to my house, which is kind of weird for me. But so we each got a fun package. I got one from Honeybee Stamps and she got one from Altenew, and I filmed those. So hopefully I'll edit those and you'll see them at some point. I also made a video. Sometimes I make videos and lose them. But I made a video of the fuse tool recently and kind of playing around with that. That is that heat tool that rolls and melts the plastic. If you don't have one, don't buy one. But if you have one, I don't know, maybe the video will inspire you to take it out of the package. I don't have one. I just borrow it every now and then. And the owner, I don't think, even uses it in between the times I borrow it. It's just not a real, it's a gadget. It's a crafting gadget. Like, people get you inspired. You buy these things. You think, oh, I'm going to use it. There are only so many hours, and there's stuff that's more fun. I'm watching my subscriber numbers, and they're going up pretty good. And I was trying to figure out giveaways. And what I think I might do is I might have some of my giveaways, I might let the person just choose something out of my Etsy store. So I set up the Crafting and Relaxing Etsy store, and I'm thinking they could go and I could just delete the listing and ship it to them. I don't know if there's any rules, but that seems like a fun way to do a giveaway. So let me know what you think about that, or if that's a cool idea. I haven't been making any cards because I have so many and they're not selling on Etsy, and it kind of sucks to take all those pictures and list stuff. But my local friends have said, okay, we want cards. So maybe I'll start making some cards again, because I have some really cute papers that I want to use. If nothing else, maybe I'll just make them and become a card hoarder or something. If I make happy birthdays or certain sentiments, then there are always people who want them. But you know me, I just get off track and I buy fun dies and I have to try them all. I like really inspirational sentiments. Like, I have that stamp that says she believed she could, so she did. I love making cards with that. All right, I think that's it for today. I hope that you are taking time for crafting and relaxing. I also hope that you are taking care of yourself, because my COVID numbers, oh, they're not so good. They're just not. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but I have to get my thank yous out. And there was a Diet Dr. Pepper shortage in my area, but it seems to be under control now. So I think I'm going to be okay. I don't need to have Diet Dr. so much for crafting and relaxing, but I need it for during the week. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing great. Don't ever hesitate to message me on Instagram or on Facebook, which somebody told me the other day she messaged me on Facebook and I never saw it. I don't know how to see it. But I'd love to see your projects or know if I help inspire you. You can put comments down below. Oh, that's the other thing. Noni sent me a picture of a super cool piece of furniture on Facebook Marketplace, which I'm learning to use. I don't know what it is. I sent it to my friend and said, who has little tiny kids, and said, is this a changing table? And she said, no, it looks to me that it's counter height. It looks almost like butcher blocky. It's real light wood, has a million drawers, but then the bottom drawers in the front look like they fold down, almost like they have a piano hinge across the front. So I don't know. The person hasn't answered me, I don't think, right? My Facebook skills. But I went into Messenger and I can see my message to the seller and no response. So I think I'm getting nowhere. But maybe Noni should try. But it kind of looked cool. And I know I don't need furniture. I don't need anything in my craft room, but it said $50, which was confusing because there were a lot of items. It's almost like an estate sale person maybe. And if it's counter height, then it has a million drawers. I think we need to talk about it. I think Mr. Crafting and Relaxing might be going for a drive, but there was no answer. So, okay, that's it. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing, and I'll be back again soon. Bye-bye.